Happy Monday, traders. It is Matt and Jacey with Empire Algorithmic Trading here to bring you your daily dose of VWAP Vision's Stock Talk.
It's where the best indicator on the market, the volume weighted average price, is our leading indicator. So let's take a look, Matt. It's time for a little stock talk.
Let's do it, buddy! All right, happy Monday, Jace. How has your Monday been over there?
It was really good. It was productive. The market was better than I ever thought it would be. It really surprised me to see the futures open flat to down a little bit last night, and it just got better as the day progressed. How about yourself?
It's been a very nice Monday, kind of getting back from my travels. So, getting back into the workflow of things and just trying to wrap my head around stuff. So, speaking of that, let's wrap our head around the market today. What happened in today's action?
With the potential Sunday was looking like it was going to be an ugly open, and then the futures open, and it was kind of ho hum. It was down just a little bit, but then as the day progressed, excuse me, as the day progressed, it just got better, and the 20-day moving average is continuing to be the support. It's
Huh.
traded right down the 20-day, bounced right off of that. The S&P 500 closed up almost 1%. The Nasdaq
Okay.
Composite as well closed up almost 1%. The small caps rallied more than 1%, up 1.2%. A nice rally, closed above their most recent anchor VWAP. And then same thing with the mid caps, up almost 0.9%. Very
Wow.
strong move from the indexes. Bonds rallied very well. That was the
Huh.
flight to quality that we were looking to see. It just money cut rolling into stocks as well. So very, very strong, very bullish session. Like we said yesterday, we've been surprised if this rally would have been turning over, and it just came right back to life, right when you would expect it. And of course, markets rally, VIX comes down a little bit. We want to see that continue to come down. But all in all, it was a very impressive day for the averages.
Well, that's great to see. It's a lot more fun than I think there was like a month stretch there where every single Monday we just we called them Bloody Mondays. It was a tough. So it's nice to see the Monday actually be pretty good that way. So very exciting. But that being said, with the general markets, next up we are going to take a look at some of our biggest moving stocks that have been breakouts for us during this session. These stocks have been hand selected by our algorithm. And if you would like access to those daily buy and sell signals from our algorithm, check us out on our Patreon, patreon.com/empire algorithmic trading. But that being said, Jace, what are the movers moving like?
It was an interesting day. You would think with the market up, S&P up almost 1%, the Nasdaq up over 1%, about 1%. You would expect some bigger moves, and at least I was expecting some bigger moves compared to what we've seen
Sure.
previously. But it was really subdued. It was really strange. And so we're just going to take a look, and we're going to do a little backwards. Today we're going to start off with some of the brutal sell-offs today, which is really strange considering the strength that we saw. We're going to start with HIMS down
That
34%. I mean, it wiped out all and then
wow.
some of its previous breakout. It was looking really good. I mean, it was actually on our Arrow report last night. I'm
Yeah.
like, man, if this thing breaks out today, I'm buying it regardless, right? Excuse me. It's simply because when I was watching the golf tournament yesterday, they had a commercial for HIMS, and I was thinking, no wonder why, because it was a great commercial. I was like, no wonder why the stock is setting up as well as it is. Well, then this morning, Novo Nordisk announced that they were no longer doing their partnership with HIMS simply because of all the knockoff G1 or LPG1, whatever those drugs are, that they
Wow.
sell. So just completely crushed the stock down 34% today. Closed on, I mean, just
Goodness.
brutal, brutal selling.
Yeah.
So that's dead in the water for a while. So I feel really bad. I mean, if it flashed a sell signal and it rode that 20-day moving average, like we said, it was setting up well. So hopefully, if you bought into this breakout, you took some profits. And if anything, you're taking maybe a small loss on what you had left over if you didn't sell on the algorithm sell signal. But
Right.
it was an interesting. I mean, I was licking my chops on this one. And then we
Yeah.
had another wicked reversal as well.
Ooh.
Venture Global, a really nice breakout for us a couple weeks ago on June 10th at 1704. It rallied up to Looks like 1901, a pretty good, strong little start there, and then it just got hit hard today. Nice spike in volume. It was down 13% on today, breaking breaking the 10-day moving average. Really ugly look there. Orla Mining, it continued to break down. It tried breaking out a couple weeks ago, reversed hard. This is a pretty clear sell signal, and then just broke the 10, the 20-day moving averages, as well as well below its previous buy point. So clear sell signal for Orla Mining there. And then Astera
Sure.
Labs, it looked like, I mean, I've traded this one a couple of times. One was a wash, one was a small loss, and I almost got in. I'm like, all right, but I wanted it to prove itself this time, right? I wanted to clear all of that resistance and get a good run going, and then it went the other direction on me. So Astera
Wow.
Labs is shaken out. On the flip side of that, all the stocks that had the best gains were a lot of our more beaten up stocks.
Huh.
WGS, Western Gene DX Holdings, WGS, was a strong breakout and just had this wicked gap down. It's kind of held support at this long-term VWAP. Tried breaking out again and just couldn't quite go on, but it rallied 19% today.
Wow.
Mobileye, another one that tried to break out about a month ago, just never really quite going. It looked like it was breaking support, and it came to life today up an 11.5%. Arista
Wow.
Networks, another one that's shaken me out a couple of times, just trying to get going, and it just won't go. It looked like it was about ready to break down, and it came to life with up 6.5% today. AMSC, another example, up 6.6% today, for a strong gap down. This was I mean, you can't get any better than that move. It was from
Yeah.
738 up to 34.45, and then just gap down hard. I'm not sure if what was going on there, but rode right along the 20-day moving average, trading right off of there. It never actually flashed an algorithm sell signal. So really, this
Huh.
buy signal is still valid, holding
Yeah.
support there. But it's just interesting that a lot of the stronger moves came out of a lot of the stocks that have been either right below support or have been trading down a little bit. So that's telling me, and same thing with Rubrik. Rubrik's another example, up 5% today, getting back up to its overhead potential resistance. And same thing with Monday. After trending down for a couple of weeks, it's finally coming to life. It was up about 3% today. That's telling me the buyers are starting to come in on some of these stocks that are right below support. Again, these are solid, fundamentally sound companies. And so what you want to see is the institutions come in and support them
Yeah.
right when they break support like that. So it's a really bullish sign. Now, the flip side of that is we did have some pretty good highs. There were quite a few highs today that were hit, but it was all on stocks that were about, 1 to 2%. They weren't really big moves. They were just kind of slow drifters, kind of moving higher. But
Sure.
TSI was not one of those stocks. It was up
Wow.
5.2%. It was down big the morning, and it rallied up about 20% off its low just today. I mean, that's like a whole move just in 6.5 hours. So wicked strength on TSI on a technical level there. Spotify, another high for Spotify after rallying 3.3%. Right in this 10-day moving average, just extending right off of there. Its buy was way back here, and it just really
Yeah.
hasn't flashed a sell signal. So we're just been riding that one. I actually ended up selling my shares, I think, right here. I don't know. I made some money on it, but it just never made the watch list again. Interdigital,
Huh.
a really nice, just kind of riding that 10-day. It almost stopped me out of boredom. It stopped me
Huh.
out here. I took a wash on it. I bought some more at 226.51, and I was just like, man, this thing isn't doing anything. Well, it came to life today. It was up 2.2%. And then
All right.
lastly, AR Holdings, another one of our breakouts, another one I did take a position on. I've taken some initial profits on, but it was up 2.9% today, hitting a new high after its breakout. So that's just that's the flavor of the day, right? I mean, a lot of stocks that are breaking down just broke down, right? And then there
Yeah.
were a lot
Crash.
that were just beat up, that are just really just getting snatched up. And then you just got
Huh.
your leaders, your traditional leaders, and that's what leaders do. So moving forward, it's a good market, man. I mean, this is what we talked about. We're in a bull market. This is what bull markets do. They show strength. Money rotates. Money's moving down into those stocks that are underneath. So we're just going to keep looking for stocks that are hitting our buy signals. Now, what I also want to talk about is we did some really good analysis this weekend, and just a real quick second here. We did some really good analysis on the buy signal. We have about 635 buy signals that we were able to analyze this weekend using a little AI help. And it's pretty significant. We have a 62% long-term win rate for all of the signals, regardless of whether or not it's a red zone, a green zone, the quality of the base, just the overall probability of success is 62%. When you look at the 1 day follow through, that is the key to success. Only about 10% of the stocks failed on the first day. So basically 1 out of 10 signals will fail the very next day. But here's the catch. About 25% of all the signals never close below the buy signal. So even though 10% failed on the first day, over 25% of them never even touch the closing price before the sell signal is triggered. So those are pretty good odds. In between there, it gets even better. If your stock hits 5%, the probability of it hitting 15% or more gets to about 50%. You have about 80% of the time, if it hits 5%, it's going to hit 7% or more. So we like to start, that's what we use 5% as our first target. First day, you'll know right off the get-go. Boom. If it fails that first day, just get out. Those stocks will continue to trend lower. Like I said, after the 2.5% fail, only about 20% of them do ultimately fail after that. So that comes down to close to your 40%. And then all the rest is just a little bit of, but the average gain is 9% and the average loss is 6%. So it's a really solid signal. It just comes down to managing you taking early profits, cutting your losses, getting your money into the next signal that's working, because the odds are that if you just move out of a loser, you're going to get a winner the very next time. So very
Yeah.
exciting. It instills a lot of confidence in the model, and it just proves itself over and over again in this market.
That's fantastic, Jason. Very, very fun. So, if you want access again to those daily buy and sell signals that we're turning out with our algorithm, subscribe at our Patreon, patreon.com/Empire Algorithmic Trading. You also get access to some educational videos on about how Jacey and I use this system, how we use these signals in our own personal trading, and see if it's a good fit for your style and what you like to do. Again, patreon.com/Empire Algorithmic Trading. Otherwise, follow us on our social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, X. If you want to learn more about who we are and what we do, check out our website, VWAPvision.com. That's VWAP Vision.com. And for those of you watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, make sure to like, review, subscribe, share, do all of the interactions. And comment. We want to interact with you. We want to see what you're doing. We want to see if you've used any of these signals and if they've found success with you. Let us know. We love to be as interactive as possible. But as always, Jace, at the end of the day, happy trading.
Happy trading, buddy. We'll see you during Arrow Review. I'm excited.
I'll see you then.
All right.